For the love of humanity and because you and I are so intimately connected, this is the Daily Empowerment Podcast. Daily empowerment to empower you to be strong, to be brave, and to be beautiful. We talked about the model and what a model is good for and what it is not good for. Oftentimes, people criticize economics, saying that oftentimes their studies assume rationality and that people are not rational. I'd like to challenge maybe the definition of rational or how we look at rationality. I think for the majority of times, you are rational. Humanity is rational. People are rational. In that, given the knowledge they have, given the emotions that they feel, given the circumstances of their life, that they're making the best decision that they can. And maybe they're just choosing, they're rationally making a choice not to do something because that's what they feel like doing or that's what they want to do. And if you had those emotions, you might do the same thing. So it's important that we begin not to think of people as either rational or irrational actors. I think when we begin to look at people's actions as either rational or irrational, we begin to make a judgment call about their intelligence. In a way, you're saying, given the same facts, you would not make the same decision, or a rational person would not make the same decision given the same facts. I disagree. I think that if you were in the same position as that other person, if you had the same chemistry, if you had the same rearing as that other person, that you too would most likely make the same choice. So is it irrational at that point? I would ask you to maybe change your line of thinking just a little bit. Stretch it just a little bit to begin ask yourself about wisdom. Wisdom takes into account the amount of knowledge, experience, emotion that you're feeling. And it says, given all that, you can make an unwise decision. It can still be rational, but yet unwise, because wisdom gives more perspective. And so you can make a rational decision and it still be unwise, because wisdom comes through experience, through a certain understanding, through non-linear thinking. I think rationality comes often through linear thinking. If we're thinking very linearly, we're thinking very rationally. And so as we add up the different steps along the path to making that decision, we add in the experience, we add in the emotion, we add in the chemistry, we add in all those things that added up to that decision, it becomes a straight line. It becomes very rational. But wisdom asks us to take a look at things beyond the scope of that rational choice. It asks us that whether or not that decision is rational, is it wise? Is it wise? If you really want to get there and you don't want to pass through all that pain, it may be rational that that's the quickest way to get to your goal is to pass through all that pain, but is it wise? Is it wise when there is a healthier route to travel, a better route, which gives you more perspective, which allows you to change course if needed, if you find out that goal is no longer necessary? One more thing, when we begin to look at decisions on a scale of wise to unwise, we're no longer judging the individual, and we're no longer judging ourselves so harshly. We're saying that we can make unwise decisions and still be a rational person. And just like we can still be a rational person, so can someone else, and so can humanity. Now we can always say maybe that's not the wisest decision, but remember, hindsight is 20/20, and it's really easy to see a decision being unwise when we weren't there or we weren't the ones making it. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Daily Empowerment Podcast. Daily empowerment to empower you to be strong, to be brave, and to be beautiful. Remember, the views presented here may or may not be those of our management company or our affiliates. And anything you hear here should first be reviewed by the corresponding professional, whether that's medical, legal, or financial, before applying it to your life. All rights are reserved by the content's creator.